I'm going to show you how I trim commercials out of RAWs. The reason I have to do this at all is because these are, like, for lack of a better term, I guess, these are raw RAWs, right? So these are essentially as broadcast out to televisions. I'll show you the format here in media info. Let's just do HTML view. So these are MPEG TS, that's MPEG transport stream, 6.3 gigs for an hour of video for this Night Scoop episode. So these are interlaced, they're anamorphic, they're as high quality as we're ever gonna get without having like a Blu-ray release. So I want to try and cut the commercials out without re-encoding the whole thing because I don't want to degrade the quality by doing that, right? I want to keep it exactly as I've got it here. Now, the software that I'm using to do this is called Smart Cutter, and it's terrible. This is awful. It crashes constantly. There's almost no documentation for half of the features that it supposedly has. There's no keyboard shortcuts of any kind. There's no customization of any of that. It's really garbage. Pirate it. I got this off, I think, Kick-Ass Torrents. Yeah, pirate it, absolutely. Do not pay $40 for this, it's ridiculous. The reason that I use this over something like MPEG Stream Clip is because the RAWs that I've been getting have ARIB format subtitles on them. That's ARIB, it's like a Japanese subtitle format. I think VLC plays it back. And I like to try to keep that intact. And then I actually have a Python script that someone wrote that will convert that to ASS subtitles. So that means I can release RAWs that are keyframe cut. So I've cut the commercials out. I haven't re-encoded them at all. They have timed Japanese subtitles on them in a format that everybody can use. And that just, it seems silly to throw that away, right? So I use this software, this awful, awful software, but it's the only one I found that keeps the subtitles intact. So here's my Night Scoop RAW. I'm gonna drag this into here. The very first thing you need to do is disable some stuff in the settings here. So go into options, and then, where is it? This audio VU meter, make sure that's unchecked. Click OK, and then you can close and reopen this. That's going to disable. There was a little audio meter here, and I just found that as much as this crashes, that made it crash even more, and it made it hang really, really badly. So getting rid of that has helped me some. So I'm going to show you the controls you need to know. This is your like fast seek bar. This lets you seek from the start to the end of the video. You have to use your mouse to drag it. There's no scroll wheel functionality. Left and right on your arrows only go frame by frame. The next one is the Find Seek. That's this one here in the video. This will let you seek forwards and backwards by an amount of time. Let's see, 15.8, 17.8. So it looks like it lets you seek 1 second forward and 1 second backwards. The only other control that you really need to know are these here, these sort of fast seeks. So is that 16, 15, 16, 14? They move, what, a second and a bit? Those are the three controls that I use. The big bar, these fast arrows, and then the fine tuning. You'll see these are the frames here, right? As they play through. Makes sense. Okay, so you set your start and your end points of the stuff you want to keep. So the first thing we have to do is seek past any commercials on the start to the first frame that we want to save. So here's the Night Scoop credits. So look, I can only get so sort of close with this big bar. So what I'll do is I'll move in until it flashes into the episode like this, and then I'll use these fast arrows to go back and forth until I'm on either side of it. So there's a commercial, there's Night Scoop, commercial, Night Scoop, commercial, Night Scoop. Once I'm within one of these clicks, I use the find thing, and we'll just seek until we see here. So because it's interlaced, this frame is half and half. We're not going to use that one. Click on here. So this is the first frame of Night Scoop. We're going to click on that so it's centered in this, and we're going to click New Start Point. It's going to show up down here. That's our frame we've chosen as our start point. Now let's take our big seek bar, and we're just going to seek forwards until we find the first commercial. That came really fast. Okay. Is this part of Night Scoop? Looks like it's a commercial. So let's use our fast seek. There's the last frame of Night Scoop. Click New Endpoint. See this little blue guy that's shown up here? That's the first of the segments that we're going to keep. There's the start frame of that. The end frame of that is, well, here, it's under my face. Okay. Now that we've done that, save the project. Just save it in your downloads because it's gonna crash at some point and you're gonna be annoyed that you have to do it again. Same thing now, we'll just go until we find the next frame of Night Scoop. There we go. A trick for this is to look up here in the top corners. Wednesday Downtown, Gaki no Tsukai, everything. They'll have either titles or whatever up here, and that's a pretty good idea of, okay, the show has started or the show has ended. So I've seeked with the big seeker. Let's go back and forth with these. There's the commercial. So we're on either side of it there. We'll use the small bar. That's half and half. There's the first frame. We're gonna do new start point. Because remember, your start point is gonna be where the part you want to keep starts. We keep going through the episode until we find a commercial. So again, I'm looking up here at this because I know that's the Night Scoop title. And when I see that go away, I'll know we're probably back in the studio. What is this episode? We're back in the studio, or it's like, oh, yep, studio. And then is it a commercial soon? Yeah, commercial there. Fast seek back. There's Night Scoop. Fine seek forwards. There's the last stream of Night Scoop. New endpoint. All right, I'm gonna do that with the rest of this now. I've done a few of these now. I'm clicking Save Project again, save to overwrite it. Because it will crash at some point. It's just a matter of time. Okay, there's the end of the episode. No. This is a preview for the next episode, obviously. Or something. So we'll keep that. That looks like a commercial to me. Yeah. There's the end frame, new endpoint. Save it again. Yup. Okay. Everything's been trimmed out. Now we're going to click on this little record button and it will go through and it will cut out the commercials and anything that's in between your edit points that's not an iframe. I'm not going to explain how the encoding works here, but basically it will only re-encode the very few frames it needs to do. So now that we've done that, we should have, there's our original episode. Could have picked a harder background to see, huh? Yeah. So see, it's appended this little 0 in brackets there. So this should be the version with no subtitles. No subtitles, no commercials. And yeah, here we go. We've started right at the credits. Great. So if you're not trying to keep the subs on, you're good to go. That's your new TS file minus commercials. You haven't affected the quality at all. It's still a big file, 4.8 gigs for our 42 minutes now. 16 megabits a second still on the bit rate. So this is still interlaced, like you haven't re-encoded anything. So this is great. This is as high quality as you took in the first place. Gold standard, awesome. So this is the tool that I use to pull the ARIB subs out. It's a Python script, so you're on your own installing it. I had good luck using Windows Subsystem for Linux, which is how I've got it set here. So there's my desktop. There's the file we just created. We snipped out, it's got the brackets in it. Now the way that I've done this is I've made a couple of aliases. Yeah. I just found ARIB-TS2ASS a bit long to type in. So I just type in tsass. So you'll be typing in ARIB once you install the thing, -TS2ASS, and then we'll pick our file. So again, we want the one with the 0 in it. You can either paste the file name and tab to complete it or however you want to pick that. I have a slightly more elegant method that I usually use, but this will be fine. So you point it to that and you let it run. And it actually will go through and it'll look through the different streams, find one that looks like it's ARIB subs, and then it will start converting it into an ASS with positioning. I don't know the details of how that works. This actually has a fairly thorough explanation of how it does what it does. It's got actually multiple tools within it that you can use to, I think, pick, you could pick through different tracks and things. Yeah, that's, if you gotta do that, then you're gonna have to figure it out, because I don't know what I'm doing here. I just point it to it and I tell it to generate. So we'll just let it go ahead and make its sub file there. There we go. There is our shiny new ASS file. Now the trick with this, and this is what the inside of an ASS file looks like, by the way, it's just text. If you try to open this, either in Aegis sub or on a file, it won't work. And that's because it's missing what should be here, which is events. So you can see here is just some sort of header information. There's, whenever you open up an Aegis sub and it asks you, would you like to open the associated video file? That's where it stores that. Here's the styles. If you've got more than a few, you'll see them in here, but that's just the defaults that come off this. This is what matters most. So dialogue is where every one of these dialogue lines is a line of subs, right? If it does not say events before those, which it does not, straight out of the script, it just looks like this. You have to go in and add events and save it. If you don't do that, they won't play back. Now I have another alias here, this one. What that does is it actually goes into the file and searches for, so you run, if I type in tsassfix and then I put the name of the ASS file in there, this will go, it will find the first line that says dialogue like this, and it will insert the events line here before it, and then it works okay. So you could do it manually, set up that same said script and make your own significantly better solution, however you want to handle it. So we've added our events tag back in. The other thing you have to do before you can work with this is you do have to open it in Aegis sub and resave it. It won't let you just save norm, so type one character, undo it, and then save. The other thing that I would go ahead and do is go into subtitle, sort all lines by end time, and go down to the very end. And just make sure, yeah, it's a good thing we did this. See, I have 3 lines here that end at 4 hours, 15 minutes. If we left those in, the MKV would be weird. Like it would look like it was too long. And so you actually do need to look for those and make sure you go in and delete them. I don't know if those lines were important and they got mistimed or how that happens, but I don't know. I got plenty of other Japanese in here still, so hopefully that's enough. So let's go ahead and we'll put that into an MKV. So there's my video file. It's the one with the little 0 in brackets. That's the trimmed one. There's my sub file that goes in there nicely. It's not Songa, it is Japanese. Make sure you check your languages. Make sure that the subtitles are set to, well, I guess they don't need to be default for this, but Now I see 2 audio files, or 2 audio tracks. I'm not sure what's going on there. I've only ever had 1 track when I've done this with Wednesday Downtown and Gaki no Tsukai. So I'll just disable one of them and see what happens there, right? So, yep, let's mux that up. Now you're gonna get warnings. It's to do with the durations of lines and something about the way, just whatever the way the sub file gets built. It's not technically correct, but it doesn't seem to impact anything. So just ignore any warnings that you get, unless your file doesn't play back correctly. But you'll check it here. So there's that done. There's the MKV. Let's see. Let's de-release that. No commercials. We're off to a good start. I can't read any of that. Oh, here we go. Okay, good. So I don't speak a lick of Japanese, but saisho wa must be those match up with what she just said, so I think these are timed correctly.
県にお住まいの米流星さん、20歳フリーターの方からの
Yeah. All right, cool. So those match. Let's go in a few cut points later.
勢いだけうんこがまだ面白いって、まあ面白いんですけど、しっかりとした大人が
そうアメリカ行こうとしてる。
アメリカ行こうとしてる。
Yeah, great. So here's a raw now, which is as high quality as it possibly can be. It's got no commercials, and it's got Japanese subtitles, timed, style Japanese subtitles. Obviously, they don't duplicate what's in hard subs, but I think that's just fantastic. Someone can sub this now, and they've got hints as to what the dialogue is that they don't have to just listen for by ear. It lets people look stuff up that way. Someone wants to watch it, and they know Japanese, well, there's your subs. So that's how I handle that. As always, I'm not an authority. I'm just making this up as I go along, but this is what seemed to sort of work for me over the last, I don't know, probably maybe 20 or 30 of these now, and it seems like it's going okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that process. It's not as sort of streamlined as it could be. If you've got better ideas, by all means, let me know, but hopefully this helps someone out.